V for Vendetta. I like this movie. This is the first R-rated movie that I have reviewed on this channel. So before this review goes any further, it's an R-rated movie. It's got violence in it. So if this isn't the type of movie for you, keep that in mind. And of course, there's spoilers for this movie. I enjoy V for Vendetta. I enjoy it a lot. I remember first seeing it in high school, and I remember being really put off by it at the beginning. It's a very political movie. If anybody has ever read the book 1984 by George Orwell, this book could have been the book could have been the same setting as this movie. It's set presumably in the future when there's this government that wants to monitor everything. They hate certain types of music, they have a curfew, they have books that can't be read, they have a surveillance van that goes around the city monitoring the population, making sure that everyone talks positively of the government. And if you are anything, if you are a person that speaks out about your beliefs, if you're different in any way from what they feel is normal, you get a black bag put over your head and you presumably are beaten and killed or sent to an institution to try and fix you. It is a very disturbing story, but there's a character that shows up. His name is V, played brilliantly by Hugo Weaving, and he shows up and tries to show people that they should not be afraid of this government and that they should stand together for what they believe in. And it's a very well done story. Natalie Portman plays Evie Hammond, and this was the first real role of hers that I saw after seeing the prequel trilogy of Star Wars. And I remember thinking, wow, this is a really different character for her. And she does well in this role. And it really surprised me. I thought it was going to be a very slow, very uh, just off-putting movie, but really it wasn't. And it's been at least a year since I've seen this movie, and it was great to see it again. It has an amazing soundtrack. It's directed by James McTeague, and it's very well done. It's from the creators of the Matrix trilogy, and this movie is nothing like the Matrix. A lot of the advertisements and trailers and things like that I went back and looked at from this movie's release seemed to make this movie look like it was going to be this movie made by the people that made the Matrix, and it was going to be this thriller and have all this action. It does have action sequences, and it does have moments of intensity, but that's not the point of the movie. It's a slow progressing story. V starts at one end of a thread and he starts pulling. And when he starts pulling, people start dying. People start, getting their butts kicked. And it gets to be really good. The character of V, I want to talk about him for a second. You never see his face, ever. He's in a mask through the whole movie. And you'd never get to see any of his emotion, but Hugo Weaving, in his voice, he managed to convey enough emotion that you could feel for this guy. And at the end, when V dies, when he meets his end, you feel for the guy. At least I did. And the person I watched this movie with felt for him too. And it's really a touching movie, and the ending is wonderful. And Stephen Fry has a minor role in this movie. I like Stephen Fry a lot. I've loved all of his projects, and I've followed a lot of his videos for quite some time online. He's a wonderful entertainer, so him in this movie, I completely forgotten that he was in it and thoroughly enjoyed it. John Hurt in this movie, he plays Adam Sutler, who's the main person in the government in this movie. The majority of him, you see him on a screen, and you can tell that he had an absolute blast playing the role. He's spending the whole movie just yelling, we need people to understand why they need us. And he's a marvelous actor, and I love a lot of his work. This movie is very polarizing. You either love it or you hate it. There's really no middle ground. If it's the first superhero movie that I have seen. I have the graphic novel in my possession and I have read it. It's a wonderful piece of work, and if you don't have it, pick it up and give it a read. It's wonderful. And if you haven't seen the movie, give it a watch. It's very good. It's very enjoyable. Like I said, it's an R-rated movie. There are very few R-rated movies that I watched and that I can actually enjoy. They usually aren't my favorite thing, but I love V for Vendetta fully and completely. It is awesome, and it gets an 8 out of 10. That is a popular rating on my channel, but you can like a vast majority of movies and give them the same rating. There are things I don't like about this movie. I would have liked if more time was spent in Evie Hammond's cell when she's eventually captured, it seems, and is tortured for the location of V. I wish more time was spent on that. I wish more time was given to the year that is between when she leaves V's home and comes back. I wish more time was spent on what happened during that year. How did Evie stay safe? How did she avoid detection by the government? I wish more time was spent on things. My biggest gripe with this movie is that it's slow, but it moves too quickly. It avoids explaining too many things and how they just didn't happen. And that's really sad. This movie is one of the first movies I can honestly say it deserved an extended cut. It really did. But this movie is great. It gets an 8 out of 10. Watch it. It's great. If you enjoy R-rated movies, if you enjoy superhero movies, and you haven't seen V for Vendetta, watch it. Be sure to check out my other movie reviews, and there will be more reviews coming very soon in the near future. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much for joining me. You guys are all fantastic. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day. Take care.